today's video, I want to talk about crate training. I call it the Great Crate Debate because there's a lot of questions about crate training. Should I use it? Should I not use it? Is it inhumane? Will my dog or puppy like it? Are they happy being in there? And these are all really good questions, and I think sometimes we don't really understand why we should consider using a crate, how it benefits our puppy, how it benefits us. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. Crate training can mean any number of things. We can use it for housebreaking. It can help you very efficiently housebreak a puppy or an adult dog. We use it for safety. Puppies are not safe just roaming throughout our home for a number of reasons. They can get into something that can hurt them. They can be destructive, which can be very frustrating for the humans. They also should not have full run of your house till they're fully housebroken, until they're done chewing. And it's just not good for them to have so much territory before they really have matured to be trustworthy, being free running in your house. It's also very stressful for the humans to have 24/7 eyes on a puppy or a new adult dog that's come into your home. It's exhausting for everybody involved. So we use crates for a number of reasons. So how do we get started? Well, with a puppy, puppies, yes, they are easier to crate train than an adult dog who's never been acclimated to a crate or has had negative experience being in a crate. So we'll kind of start with how do we acclimate our puppy. In a perfect world, having them exposed to some sort of confinement when they're with their litter is very helpful. That's typically where a puppy becomes stressed, is that they're taken away from their litter mates, they're taken away from familiar environment, and they're confined to a space that they're not familiar with or comfortable with. And we put them in there and we don't understand why they won't sleep in there and why they're barking and crying and carrying on. And it can tend to go sideways. And a lot of people will give up after 1 or 2 days and say, oh, the puppy hates it, I'm never going to put him in there again. And then your life becomes very difficult because you don't get any breaks, you can't go anywhere. A lot of people aren't getting sleep at night because you have this puppy wandering around, or it's trying to sleep in your bed, or you're trying to get it to sleep somewhere other than in a safe, confined space. So the first thing you need to think about with crate training is your puppy is probably not had much of any experience. So this is their first experience being confined. So you want to take it slow. You want to give them time to adjust to it. You want to do as many things as you can to make it a positive experience. So consider these things. Put the crate in a part of your home where they are not isolated. Don't put them in a room where they can't see anyone, they don't see anybody moving around the home, they don't hear anything. They can maybe hear it through the walls, but they can't see what's going on. Find a place in your home where people are coming and going and they can see you throughout the day. We need them to acclimate to the noise in your home. It needs to become background noise. The goal isn't to put them in the quietest, darkest part of your house. Put them right where the action is. Let them get used to it. I can vacuum around my dog's crates and they don't wake up. So I've gotten them used to the noises of our home. We're not a quiet family. They're used to it. You also want to start having positive associations with that crate. A puppy, feed them all of their meals in the crate with the door closed. I personally don't put their water in there because they would swim in it and I'd be constantly mopping up the floor. They have access to water all day, but it's not in their crate. So positive things happen in the crate. Meals are in there. Toys are in there. Some puppies like to have a bed, some don't. Most of my dogs, they've not liked having dog beds in their crate. They're too warm. Some dogs love it. They're happy if they have a cushy bed in there. That's trial and error. You just have to kind of figure it out as you get to know them. If they're constantly pushing it off to the side, if they're ripping and tearing it and shredding it, obviously get the bed out of there. I had something to my dog's crates called a Primo pad. If you go online and just look it up, PRIMO.pad, you can see it's replaces the pan. It's an orthopedic 1-inch pad covered in a hard rubber covering so they can't destroy it. But it's very comfortable and cool for them to lie on, so they're not lying on the hard pan. So that's an alternative to a dog bed. My dogs seem to prefer it. So we're talking about feeding them in there, toys in there, a comfortable bed in there, a good location. Then you have to start getting them comfortable with being in there. One thing that most people don't realize is that our puppies sleep best when they are in a confined environment, meaning it's comfortable, their needs are met, they have something to chew on in there, but they can't keep getting up and down and moving around the house, which means they're never really getting any sleep. So you want to start with crate training, putting them in there for naps. So you've played with them, you've had fun with them, you know they're tired, give them a drink of water, out to the bathroom, and then put them in their crate and close the door. Some puppies like to have a fan running next to their crate. My dogs like it pointed right at their crate. Some just like the noise. Some like a little music in the background. You can add these little things. We just don't want to make it such a big deal of putting them in the crate. We feel like we have to do 25 different things to put them in the crate. Just keep it simple. And then have them start by taking naps in there. The long-term goal is they'll be taking lots of longer naps, and I'm gonna do a separate video on how much sleep your puppy and dog need. I don't wanna cover it in this one. But let them start with naps, then have them going in there at bedtime. I start my puppies in their crate from the day they come home. The first couple days, it's a roller coaster. I don't know how much sleep I'll get. I don't know how much they're gonna get up. I block off time, I stay home for at least a week or two. If you don't have the option to have a family member or friend be there, hire a dog sitter, recruit someone to be your backup, because puppies cannot stay in a crate during the day for more than a few hours without needing a bathroom break. They tend to be able to go a little bit longer at night. But the goal is, the sooner you get them in the crate, the more positive an experience you make. Allow them time to acclimate, allow them time to be a little upset too. And by that I mean a little bit of whining and whimpering is expected. We do not want pure meltdown, screaming, barking, crying, trying to get destructive to get out of the crate. That is not what we want. We want to allow them a little bit of protesting. They typically get tired and they lay down and fall asleep. If you have a puppy that is truly distressed from the moment they get in the crate, they're urinating, defecating, vomiting, trying to hurt themselves to get out of the crate, then you need to seek the help of a professional to help you. They have some confinement anxiety that may not go away with just basic simple stuff of trying to get them into the crate. So that's how we start acclimating our puppies to get them going. But you have to start from the day they come home. It's a really not a great idea to start by having them sleeping with you, or you sleeping on the floor next to them. You can sleep next to their crate if you want to, and I've done that. I've slept on a dog bed next to a dog crate. They slept fine, I didn't sleep so great. But that was the first night here. But we don't want to start something that we don't intend to finish. The sooner we get them in the crate, the better. And if we take it slow, you're not going to have a traumatized puppy. If you have an adult dog who has not been crated, it may be more of a challenge. Why weren't they crated? Was it because they had anxiety in the crate, or no one ever exposed them to the crate? You follow similar protocols, feeding them in the crate when they first come to you, high value toys in the crate, stuffed Kongs, a favorite chew toy, having them start with short periods of time, having them taking naps. We pretty much start the same way, but you may have more problems with an older dog, because if they truly have confinement anxiety, it's going to show up pretty quick. Then you are looking at recruiting the help of a professional. Some dogs require mild, anxiety reducing drugs to help them get adapted to being confined. You may opt to use an X-Pen instead. You may opt to put them in a safe room with a gate at the door. Even some of those dogs, they can't handle any confinement. So we really have to determine, are they just not used to it and we can give them some time, or are they truly fearful and anxious, and putting them in there would be inhumane at this point. So you kind of have to feel it out and see how the dog is really responding, what their behavior is telling you, and go from there. But what I can tell you is, the longer you postpone using a crate, the harder it's going to be to get your puppy or dog into a crate. And if you think about their lifetime, there are going to be times in every single dog's life where they're going to have to be confined. It could be when they go to the vet, if they're hospitalized for something. If they're spayed or neutered, they're going to be crated for sometimes 5 to 7 days, the majority of the day, while their incisions heal. If they have an injury, I had a dog had a back surgery. He was crated about 22 hours a day for 6 weeks while his back healed. Thankfully, all my dogs are very comfortable in their crate, and we all survived it fairly well. He was not at all traumatized by being confined that much. But you don't plan on those things happening. If you're going to groom your dog at a groomer, they're going to probably put them in a crate. If you're going to go on a vacation, they're going to put them in a crate or in a kennel. So there's so many things we aren't thinking about when they're a puppy. How is this going to affect them throughout their lifetime? I don't want to find out 2 years down the road that I can never travel because I can't leave my dog anywhere, or my dog gets hurt and I now have to sedate them into unconsciousness to keep them crated while they're recovering. So we want to think about those things from the very beginning. Our puppies and our dogs need to have a safe, confined place that they can rest, that they can get away from the hustle and bustle of our home, that we can safely leave them, whether it's to go to work or to just go outside of our home. We don't want to spend their lifetime trying to fix separation anxiety or confinement anxiety. Let's get ahead of it, help them acclimate to their crate, help them get comfortable. Most puppies and dogs, as they mature throughout that first year of their life, they're spending less time in the crate. They're graduating to freedom. I have a video on that called Graduating to Freedom. They're spending time sleeping out of their crate at night. Nobody's intention is to have their puppy or dog crated their entire life. It's just getting them through puppyhood or getting that new adult dog comfortable and adapted to your home before you just turn them loose. So the crate has many benefits. It should never be used as a form of punishment. It should never be used as a form of isolation for a dog. Those things are cruel. But the things I'm talking about are making it a safe, humane, comfortable place. My dogs have their crates right behind me here. You can see one peeking over the edge. Marshall's going to be 5, Ducky's going to be 3. They love their crates. They choose their crates. They have the whole house to sleep in, and often I find them going and just sleeping in their crates throughout the day and even at night. And that's what I want. I want a dog who sees it as their safe place and they want to go there. So just remember, when it comes to crating, all of our puppies and dogs can benefit from being well adapted to being confined and having their own place.